Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. Now that's the final time I am going to say that, guys, because I thought we'd do one more video now the season has ended, just to round things off with a little mini review of how I got on this week, reveal my rank, and talk about a few other things, including how I stacked up against some of the other FPL content creators. So guys, if you did enjoy this one, please do leave a like, do subscribe if you are new around here. But let's have a look at how I got on in Gameweek 38 and what my rank was. Okay guys, so here is my final Game Week 38 score and my final rank. I'll tell you first of all what moves I made for Game Week 38 in the end. I ended up taking out Erling Haaland because I got the early team news that he was indeed benched. I took out Martinelli because he was injured anyway, and I took out McAllister as well because I thought there was a chance that he might get benched as well. In the end he didn't, but it was a good transfer out anyway. And I replaced those three players with Heung-min Son, Ramsey and Kane, and then I captained Kane as well. So you're probably thinking, guys, Dan, you said you wanted to aim for top 50k. Why have you gone for such crazy moves, even right at the end? You had 50k in your clutches and you went for a super big risk like this. Well, I'll be honest, guys, it just seemed like the right time to take a risk. There was a lot of players I kind of like the look of, and the moves I made in the end, yes, it could have gone wrong, but, you know, guys, I don't want to kind of stop my play style just because I'm almost at a rank that I really like. So went aggressive. I ended up getting a really nice green arrow because all three of my transfers in players got the points. So Son 5 points, Ramsey 9 points. He could have got way more in that game against Brighton. And Harry Kane, of course, signing off the season with an amazing 16-pointer haul, which was really nice having captained him. So a rank of 48,000 crept all the way up to 34,000 during Game Week 38. And that's given me a decent little rank at the end of the day. I feel like this is definitely a respectable rank and I'm pretty happy with this. I just want to go through how my season went though, because 34,000, you know, it's a decent rank. It's not like the best rank you will ever see on here. I have no doubt about that. But I think within the context of my season, I am just so happy and pleased that we managed to end up around there. Okay, guys, so I've got on screen my full kind of game week history for the 2022-23 season. You can see that my rank from the early days was very poor. You know, game week 1 going in rank 4 million. Game week 2 crept up to 2.7 million. Game week 3 all the way back down to 3.7 million. We started off really rough, and that was down to me not having Erling Haaland in my team at all. Didn't bring him in. Took ages to bring him in. Took way too long to bring him in, and I actually found myself well behind the template early on. And to be honest, there was a couple of moves like not getting Haaland in early enough. There was a couple of bad transfers I just made, and I look back at them and I think, Dan, that was actually really bad. That was not a good transfer. You know, like I got, De Silva, for example, from Brentford after his haul. Why did I do that? I don't know. When I look back at that, I have to kind of reflect on that. I wasn't quick enough to react to Erling Haaland. I was being too proud. I was too differential with my original team. There was too many differentials in there. I think I was probably a little bit, I don't know, maybe there was a little bit of arrogance there, having finished 243rd the season before. Maybe I thought, you know, I was kind of untouchable and I could just go for these differentials and everything would work out for me, because everything seemed to work out for me last season, but it wasn't the case this year. So maybe that got to my head a little bit, and I think I definitely have to reflect on that, on how I started the season this year, because it wasn't just that I was unlucky, and maybe there was a bit of poor fortune there, but there also were some bad decisions that I actually do need to kind of acknowledge, really, and try and improve upon for the next season. So yeah, not only that, I do want to actually apologise to you guys, because although I do always say, look, the selections I make for my team, the transfers that I make for my team, it's not intended as advice. It's just what I'm doing with my team. It's how I like to play FPL. But at the same time, I do feel like I've let a lot of people down with some of the moves I was making earlier on in the season. And as such, a lot of people stopped watching the videos. A lot of people, you know, kind of wrote me off and said, hey, you know, you're a one-season wonder. You suck at FPL. I had hundreds of messages like that. And, you know, people are obviously absolutely entitled to those opinions, but you know, it didn't feel great to read. It didn't feel great to read, and it kind of really spurred me on to want to prove something. So after a disastrous early start to the season, after game week 10, it was pretty much red arrows all the way through to the World Cup break. And the World Cup break, man, did that come at a good time for me. I had a decent little go at the World Cup fantasy, did quite well in that. And then after that, it was all systems go. And from game week 17 onwards, there was only 4 red arrows during that entire period. Started banging out the chips from game week 22 onwards with the triple captain chip. Did the game week 26 wildcard. A lot of us guys did that. Bench boost in 29. That was part of that kind of strategy. Game week 32, free hit. And we crept in. Finally get into the top million by game week 20. Finally entered the top 100k by game week 32. But it was a climb. It was a climb. The whole season was just one big climb, really, from game week 17 onwards. But previously to that, it was just laborious. It was just so difficult. I felt like I was banging my head against a brick wall. But after game week 17, it was just genuinely really, really enjoyable. So just to kind of illustrate the kind of where my rank kind of was, I made this little graph for you guys. So yeah, obviously started off really, really poorly, over 4 million. We kind of bounced around a little bit for the first few game weeks, but never really breaking even the top 3 million. Finally did break those really, really bad ranks and kind of approached the 1 millions. But after I hit the 1 millions, it was a little period of red arrows after that, and it was just, down, 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 or up on this particular graph, but we were going down and down the ranks, and it was just really, really frustrating. And then from game week 17 onwards, it was good. It just was good. I mean, it was pretty much all green arrows, and you can kind of see that more from this kind of graph, that the fact that it's pretty much kind of a slope, and even when you can see where the red arrows are, where we're kind of bumps up a little bit there. Even then, they're kind of like mini bumps, and their bumps are not like a couple of bumps in a row. It's just like one mini bump here, one mini bump there, and it's straight back on track again. So yeah, really, really, this part of the season, I have to say, was probably the most I've enjoyed FPL in a few years, to be fair. It really has been. And I know, obviously we had a really good FPL finish last year, but last year was really stressful because when you're kind of inside the top 1,000 for the entire season, you are not only competing with the best FPL managers in the world, you're also competing with the luckiest FPL managers in the world. So if you are not getting your decisions perfect and also getting really lucky, you are going to fall out of the top 1k, and it's stressful, and a lot of it is out of your hands because you have that luck factor that you are depending on. It is harder, whereas kind of outside of the top 1k, you can use your skill a little bit more, can't you? So yeah, I felt like I've been in a little bit more control since game week 17 onwards, and I've been feeling confident and positive, and really enjoyed this end to the season, guys. I really, really have. So here are the final standings then, guys. So overall rank, 34,857. In England, that's 11,000 roughly. In the second chance league, where obviously, in the second part of the season, things went really, really well. So the second chance rank was actually 4,300. So pretty pleased with that. My percentile was top 0.3%, which is, I think, decent. I think, honestly, guys, anywhere inside the top 1%, which is what, roughly top 110k, something like that. That's really, really good these days. Like, I know people used to say about, you got to finish in the top 10k. That really is a thing of the past. Top 10k is, you got to be so lucky to get in those kind of ranks. Trust me, I know I've been there. I've been lucky. But yeah, like anywhere in the top 1%, this is really, really positive stuff. And yeah, that's definitely where we ended up. So pat on the backs, guys, for anyone who did manage to finish sort of top 150k-ish. Like, I would say that's a really, really strong rank. Some snobs would disagree with that, but no, I really do think that is a good rank. But yeah, that's where I was. Comparing that to our previous season, so obviously we've been doing FPL seriously for 4 years now. We've had this YouTube channel for not four complete seasons, but we started it at the end of the 2019-20 season, just for the final days of that as we went into the COVID season, I guess. Well, it was the COVID season. It was like, yeah, it was a crazy one. But yeah, anyway, since we've been kind of taking FPL a little bit more seriously and, actually going for it and actually trying to play for the whole season, these are our ranks. So obviously the 34k that I've got this year, or 35k depending on if you want to round up or down. I think I'd rather round down. But the 34k is going to be my second best season, which I'm pretty pleased with. It's nowhere near last year. I'm never gonna, look, let's be honest, I'm never gonna get a 243 ever again. That's a super crazy rank these days. Well, I guess you never know, but I'm not expecting it. But yeah, look, I feel like I'm starting to build a respectable rank history now. Like, before, a lot of people would say, look, Dan, you've only finished in the top 100k twice. Yeah, fair enough. We've done it 3 times now. You know, last couple of seasons, I would say both of those seasons are strong seasons. Yeah, let's see if we can build on that going forward and, yeah, get a couple more top 50Ks, top 40Ks, whatever. And, yeah, maybe we'll put some respect on the FPL Mate name at some point or another. I just want to do this finally, guys, as well, because, yeah, I don't know about you, but I like to compare myself to other people a little bit, just to get an idea of how I'm getting on. I think a great, like, kind of standpoint of kind of working out if you're having a good season or not is to look at kind of people who are kind of, I don't know, maybe FPL colleagues in a way, people you kind of consider to be in the same kind of bracket as you. And for me, that is other content creators that I watch and enjoy and respect as well. And, you know, last year I said, you know, when we threw up a content creators league table last year, I said, honestly, it is just an honor to compete with these guys. Like, some of these guys have been playing FPL for decades, literally decades, and have, you know, all of these crazy finishes, like, in years gone by. So, yeah, really good to be competitive again in this league. Massive shout out to FPL Harry. He's on YouTube if you haven't checked him out before. Finished 510th this season, which is absolutely incredible. Ben Krellin up there as well. FPL Raptor, I know a few of you guys watch Rosh's stuff, just outside the top 10k there, but close enough that you could maybe call that a 10k finish. FPL General there above me as well. But aside from that, we've actually ended up beating quite a lot of other FPL creators this year, which is quite good. Beat Let's Talk FPL by just 1 point. So that rivalry went down to the absolute wire. But yeah, so there's some other creators on there. I'm sure there's other people who I could have included on this list as well that maybe you guys watched, but hopefully we've covered most of the most popular content creators there. But yeah, once again, super honored just to be competing with these really talented FPL managers, and you know, hopefully I can beat a few more of them next year. That's all the fun of FPL, competing with other people, having fun, seeing who you can beat and trying to lift that trophy. No trophy for me this year, but we'll come back stronger next year, won't we, guys? And that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for another amazing season. Yes, maybe the FPL stuff hasn't been always amazing for me personally, but the videos, the support, you know, it's really been awesome. The conversations during the streams and in the comment section, all of the chat over on Twitter and Instagram as well. I've loved every second of it, and I'm just so grateful once again that you guys have just put me in the situation where I can do this as a job. So honestly, you guys know I mean this. Thank you so much for continuing to support the FPL Mate YouTube channel. It means the world to me that you guys stick around, and yeah, hopefully let's do it all again next year. Let me know where you finished off in the rankings, guys. Did you beat any content creators yourself? What was your final rank? Did you win your mini leagues? I would love to know, so leave a comment all about that. But until the new season, we'll do a couple of videos in the off season, but I'm going to go take a little bit of a holiday. So catch you over on Twitter, catch you over on Instagram. On YouTube, I'm done. I'm taking a week off, man. I'm taking a week off. And maybe after that, we'll start doing a few bits and bobs here and there. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching once again. And I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.